I'm Hasini Madanayake. I am a student at South Asian International Institute of Higher Education. I'm studying Diploma in Early Childhood Care and Development at March 2022 batch at this institute. And today I'll be discussing on an assignment done under the subject Health, Safety and Nutrition. So the assignment topic is taking action to ensure safety and security of buildings, and this is the second assignment. So if we look at the contents, first I'll be talking about the possible dangers that could be avoided and the safety and how to ensure the safety of the building. The next one is necessary precautions are taken to ensure fire and electrical safety. The third one is on health hazards. And the fourth one is on adequate light and ventilation. And finally, I'll be talking on emergency security procedures that are followed and necessary personnel are contacted. So first, let's look at the possible dangers that are avoided and safety of buildings ensured. So I have jot down the requirements as per the guidelines and standards for children institutions in Sri Lanka by National Protection Authority, published in August 2030. So this guideline provides all the detailed information on how to start up, how to maintain a childcare center in Sri Lanka. So here I have extracted some relevant points to my assignment from this document, from this publication by the National Child Protection Authority. So under safety in the setting, all areas to which children have access to should be free of hazards which affect their health and safety, and safety gates should be placed at appropriate locations to ensure that children are safe at all times. And if a well is being used to obtain water for the facility, young children should not have access to such areas without adult staff members' supervision. When not in use, such places should be kept closed, and all the activities in which children participate should be free of predictable danger. And in terms of location, a child care institution should be located in an area which is safe for children. So this specifically mentions that the area should be safe for children, and there should not be places which provide alcohol to the public within 100 meters radius from the location of the childcare institution. And talking about the building design should be appropriate for the children. The building walls, roofs, railings, stairs, windows, doors should be checked and maintained regularly. So these are the conditions mentioned in the standards on how to avoid possible dangers with regard to the building and the location of the ECCD center. And if you look at kitchen area, the kitchen area should not be accessible for children without adult supervision. Children aged 14 years and above may gain the opportunity to lend a hand during kitchen activities for a shorter period of time per week under the supervision of adult staff members. And all the necessary precautions to prevent contamination of food shall be taken during preparation and serving of food. And all cooking, serving, and eating utensils shall be cleaned up immediately after each meal to prevent spread of diseases. And if you look at security, a high wall fence should be available around the premises to prevent intruders from entering the premises. Gates should be kept locked with a padlock or a similar device. A watchman should be available at all times of the day to ensure the security of the children accommodated. And the play area standards are children should be under supervision at all times during play sessions. Garden or play area should not consist of any hazardous materials. Outdoor play equipments should be regularly checked for defects and faults and repaired accordingly. And with regard to medicine storage, all the medications shall be kept locked in a secure location which is inaccessible to children. Child caregivers should handle all the medication within the premises and not let any child consume medication unsupervised. Over-the-counter drugs should be handled with care by child caregivers. And if you look at the standard for the hazardous materials, alcohol should not be introduced into the premises at any time. All poisonous or toxic substances, cleaning supplies, inflammable substances, tools or other hazardous materials should be kept in a locked and secure location inaccessible to children. Such materials should not be kept in areas where medicine is kept or where food is stored, prepared or served. So they have to be separated from food. The childcare institution manager should ensure that access to such materials is limited only to those who are authorized to use them and release them from the storage accordingly. None of the children should have permission to handle such hazardous materials. So the next main area I'll be discussing is the how necessary precautions are taken to ensure fire and electrical safety. This again, I'm referring to the guidelines and standards for childcare institutions in Sri Lanka, which is published by National Protection Authority. So in terms of lighting, electrical equipments and wiring, all the areas which childcare have access to should have adequate lighting. So this means that the areas like the sitting area, the playing area, the dining area, all the areas that children are engaged should have adequate lighting and ventilation. When there is no electricity, a torch or lamps should be available at the facility. Guidelines and standards for children institutions. So as per the guideline, especially when considering the present context, it's compulsory for the ECCD centers in Sri Lanka to have a torch, lamp or other mode of lightning during power cuts. An oil lamp should be safe to be used among children. Lamp should be kept at a location unreachable for a young child and at a location which will not cause a fire. And if fans are used to provide proper ventilation, the blades should be covered to keep out of children's reach. And all the electrical equipment and wiring should be well insulated. And electrical equipment, switches, cables, and plugs at the facility should be regularly checked for defects and faults. And all the items which are accessible to children should be well covered, maintained, and repaired or replaced immediately. And the next area is on health hazards. So we'll be focusing on health hazards, how we can prevent them, and the requirement of periodical inspections and cleaning. So this again, I'm referring to the standards. So in the standard for play equipment, the equipment available should be age appropriate and their safety should be ensured. All the play equipments should be checked regularly for defects and faults. Equipments that are not in suitable condition for children's use should be repaired or replaced immediately. So with regard to play equipment, the standards highlights how we can inspect them, how we can maintain them in the proper way to ensure safety of children. Another equipment, all the electrical equipments at the facility should be well maintained and checked for defects or faults regularly. So this again highlights the requirement of periodic maintenance to ensure safety of children. The building's walls, roofs, railings, windows, doors, etc. should be checked and maintained regularly. Each bed should have a proper mattress with a clean pillow and pillowcase, bed cover and blankets. The staff members should ensure that these facilities are cleaned and maintained regularly. Such facilities should not produce bad odor. Repairing and replacement should be done immediately when necessary. So these standards also highlights the requirement of periodical inspections and cleaning in an ECCD center to prevent health hazards. And again, if you look at the dining area requirements, area should be well maintained and consist of adequate seating and table space to consume meals. Hygiene in this area should be well maintained. Eating utensils should be cleaned and washed properly after using. All the cooking, serving, and eating utensils shall be cleaned up immediately after each meal. Outdoor play equipment should be regularly checked for defects and faults and repaired accordingly. So this again highlights on the cleanliness and how we should keep the environment clean, especially the dining environment clean, to avoid any infections causing of the food contamination or because of any germs on utensils. Next, we'll be talking about the availability of adequate light and ventilation. So again, I'll be referring to the standards. The bedroom should have adequate lighting for day and night. Adequate number of doors and windows should be available depending on the room size. Ventilation to each bedroom should be appropriate for the number of children that resides in a given room. And study area should have adequate lighting, and lights should be available for those children who wish to study during nighttime. So this also again highlights the ventilation and lighting requirements, especially in the bedrooms. Finally, we'll be discussing the emergency security procedures and how we can contact necessary personnel in such an emergency. So if we talk about fire safety, the guidelines and standards for childcare institutions in Sri Lanka mentions that all precautions must be taken to protect children from fire hazards. A functioning fire extinguisher should be available in each building. This is very important. We can see that most of the ECCD centers and officers in our country are currently having fire extinguishers, but the problem is whether they are functioning or not, because these fire extinguishers have a life cycle. So we have to check them periodically. So there's no point in having a fire extinguisher that doesn't work. So it is very important that we are having a functioning fire extinguisher. And the childcare institution staff member should be aware of the necessary steps to be taken in an emergency. And the next standard is on missing children, because this is also an emergency for an ECCD center. So when a child accommodated at the childcare institution is missing, cannot be traced, the childcare institution manager or the staff members shall inform the nearest police station as soon as possible inform the child placing authority regarding this uh, development, inform the individuals from the child placement committee, inform the individuals from the institution management committee, inform the child's parents or relatives. So this is how the ECCD center react on a case of a missing child, which is again an emergency. So that's all I have with this assignment. My special thanks goes to Madam Jayasuriya, the subject teacher, Mr. Janaka Kamalgoda, and all the others who helped me in numerous ways. Thank you very much.